Scott, I just thought I'd take a couple minutes and show you the UHID board and my Molex connector. What I wanted to do was make sure we're actually getting the right response in Windows before we go and troubleshoot the actual game. So what I've done is I've actually connected on the fourth pin over from the left is my 5 volt power line that I've got going down. That's the 5 voltage for the potentiometers. And on the other wire I've created a separate ground. This is actually my switch ground. I'm using the original factory ground on the board here, wire number 2, which is at the bottom left hand corner, as our analog ground. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you that the Molex connector is actually working as far as the button presses go, but I'm not entirely sure if we're getting the response that we want in the actual game debugger for the analog potentiometers. So you see, if we actually take the 15-pin Molex and we look in the notepad, you'll see if I actually short out pin number 7 and pin number 9 and 10, we'll actually get what we need. So here on the left hand side, 10, you'll see the cursor is dropping down, giving me a return. You can see that in the notepad up there. So that's actually our start button. I've got it mapped as enter. The next one is actually giving us an S. So you can see each time I short it, I'm getting the S. So that's our gear up, which is working, no problem. And then our gear down is giving us an X, which is again what I've mapped to the keyboard as the default for what the game is looking for. So we're actually getting the right button presses from a keyboard perspective on the Molex connector. One of the things I wanted to show you was what it looked like in the actual game debugger. So if I put the jumper wire in pin number 4, you'll see what we'll end up getting is what the wipers look like. So we're actually using pin 4 as our analog ground, and then we'll take you through the different wipers so we can see on how that's looking. I'm not sure the actual response is the right response that we're getting. So here's the game debugger. Let me just switch applications here. And you'll see that the cross actually starts off down at the bottom. And I'm not sure if that's where it should be or not. So we're actually in the analog ground, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to short pin number 2, which is our throttle. So by doing pin number 2, you see nothing happens. So I'm not sure what the expected result should be in the gamepad debugger. If we short pin number 3, which is our brake, you'll see it actually works. You'll see the plus jumped up very quickly. But when I take the wire out, you see it takes a long time for the plus to actually drop back down to where it actually starts. So again, you see if I touch it, as soon as I touch it, it jumps right away, and then a really slow return back down to center. Testing the wiper for the angle, which is pin number 13, which is over here, you'll see that it too also works. You see it jumps very quickly to the left. So you see we're getting the actual plus to jump to the left when I jump pin number 13 and ground. So those are definitely working. But when I jump the same pins using the voltage, so here's the voltage, we're in pins number 1, actually I'll use pin 12. So pin 12, if we use pin 12 and we use the same wipers, so if we use 2, 3, and 13, you'll see I don't get any response. So 2, no response. 3, no response. And then 13, you'll see no response. So I'm actually trying to short out the 5 volt pin I've got on pin 12. I can even try pin 1, again for the 5 volts, and I'm still not getting a response in the actual game debugger. So we're in the voltage, we've got the wiper, so the wiper for throttle is pin number 2. If we short out pin 2, we still see nothing again in the debugger. If we short out pin number 3, or jumper, pin number 3, we see nothing. And then if we short out pin number 13 over here, again we see nothing when we're using the 5 volt to try to jump them. They only seem to work from ground and the wiper. Let me know if that's the expected result or if we should do something different to make sure that it's actually working the way it should. I'm not sure how brake should work. I've got it set up as an X-axis as well, only because you said to try to stay away from a Z-axis, and you'll see that I can show you that to you later on as to where I've got that one set up for the other axis. Alright, thanks Scott. Let me know your thoughts.